I really am drawn usually to stories that are told from a very subjective POV, from a very first-person POV. And when I read the book and the script, the first name we came up with was Ralph Fiennes. The biggest challenge with this role is that most of it is behind his eyes. He doesn't say what he feels. He actually doesn't have the most lines. Other people talk, and he listens a lot.
Every cardinal deep down has already chosen the name by which he would like his papacy to be known.
Ralph is really an actor who's able to portray an inner turmoil, an inner life. And that's why we went to him immediately.
I think we've heard enough secrets.
He was complex. He's got his doubts. He's a religious man, but a questioning man. He's a man of spiritual integrity. And I like the drama in the challenges he faces to make sure it proceeds ethically and morally and transparently.
You must take over the supervision of this election, Aldo.
In the book, of course, Lawrence is Lomeli. He's an Italian. Edward Berger's decision was, well, if you're English, let's make him English. My first thought was, how many Englishmen are cardinals in the Vatican? It turns out there is one. I met him. So once I was kind of assured that it was rare but plausible that Lomeli could become Lawrence.
Would you like me to hear your confession?
We have an Englishman, Ralph Fiennes, and an American actor, Stanley Tucci. They're the best of their craft.
This is a conclave, Aldo. It's not a war.
It is a war!
I felt them really trying to have a little fencing game with each other, verbal fencing bouts.
Told me you wanted to resign, and then you step out of the shadows like this. The character is very much on the page. Now, who knows? And then it's really a matter of how angry someone might get, how emotionally available he might make himself during a scene, or how removed he might be during a scene. And that happens on the day. You should be ashamed. 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 We should all be ashamed.
Stanley's one of those actors where you watch him on set and it all feels very light. He might say the line and you won't see anything when you look him in the eye on set, but then on film, it's all there. And it's unbelievable. It's such a magic what he creates.
It isn't Tremblay's reputation that's going to suffer. It's the church's.
Conclave takes us behind a super secretive world that no one's ever seen and that no one will ever see. It's probably the most secretive process, the most secretive election in the world. And I was super curious to peek behind those doors and find out all those details.
Forgive me, but let me speak from the heart for a moment.
Certainty is the great enemy of unity.
It's about faith, but the nuts and bolts function like a political thriller.
They say eavesdroppers can use lasers to read the vibrations on the glass.
Really? Well, let's hope none of our brothers suffer from claustrophobia. And who knows how long we're going to be in here.
I think it has a real dramatic tension.
Pass the chalice.
And let it go to him. And I could never live with myself. There's a lot of infighting. There's a lot of sort of subtle, and maybe not so subtle, backstabbing.
I feel wretched that my meager tally of votes may have come at your expense.
I had no idea you were so ambitious.
That's a ridiculous thing to say.
Everybody is susceptible to human failings, jealousy, grudges, vindictiveness, ambition, greed. But in the context of sacred people, people who live a spiritual life and are presumed to be pure, that just sets up an automatic tension and duality.
The throne of the Holy See is vacant.